summarizing some of our cqrs discussion. Think of those reads and writes differently, all right? The idea of CRUD on an entity is sort of a product of a single user mentality. Start looking for the separation and the collaboration. Who is reading? What decisions are they making? How many writes are happening in parallel? It often requires you to go into the population of stuff and to see these are the most popular books, these are the most popular events, and to try to understand the user behavior around that. Reflect that difference in the schemas, whether that's the database schema itself, that you create a separate view model schema for the read side as the write side. And some of that, in terms of the difference that you're looking at, is in terms of just allocating the calculation responsibility on one side and the other. And the trick, if you're in a collaborative domain, get it so that the commands can't fail, all right? Try to figure out with your business stakeholders what needs to change about the business process for that. And anytime that you get pushback and people say, why can't you do it the old way? Explain to them, say, I can do it the old way, but the old way doesn't scale under high contention scenarios. And that's sometimes hard for them to accept. There's the, well, I'll go find somebody who can. A lot of this stuff, it's physics. You might have heard of one of the theories in distributed systems called the CAP theorem. Consistency, availability, or partition tolerance, pick two. Now it's saying if you want a solution to be highly available and you want it to be highly consistent, then it can't be partition tolerant. Partition tolerant means it can't be distributed. Remember the solution that I described to you at the beginning of the course when people came to me and said, you know, we have 2 weeks to solve our performance problems in production. What did I tell them the solution was? Buy really big server, okay? In essence, we're sacrificing the partition tolerance. To say, you know, you've given up all of the other elements of design, you're going to have to scale up. That becomes very expensive. And that's ultimately when someone says, well, why can't you do it the old way? I say, can you give me $1 million for hardware? I didn't think so. That's why we can't do it the old way. If we want to do it with the 20 small servers that we've got, we're going to have to do it this other way. All right? It's physics, all right? You can't have your cake and eat it too. And that's the difficulty in explaining that to business stakeholders. To say that, you know, we can try, it's not going to work. Or the cases where someone says, but it worked in that system, if you look closely enough, you'll see that they have accidentally sacrificed consistency. So the example that I mentioned before over here, for example, of them doing a compaction algorithm, which then accidentally deletes records, right? That's what I've tended to see, that every example where somebody said, but over here we were able to do it, once I looked in the details, consistency got thrown out the window. The thing about consistency is nobody notices it's gone until it's too late. When is that too late? When the tax man comes calling and does an audit on your books and says, explain to me how exactly, you know, this money wasn't tracked and things like that. Okay? That's not a good time to find out that your system didn't guarantee consistency. All right? So eventual consistency works. Eventual inconsistency is bad. You can't cheat physics. All right?